As a co-founder of Red Canary, one of the questions I get asked often this time of year is why we created the threat detection report in the first place. When you look at the scope and depth of the report, it's a reasonable question to ask. To create it, over 100 of Red Canary's security experts, engineers, editors, designers, and more invest thousands of hours analyzing the data, information, and intelligence that we glean from over 14 million investigative leads, leading to detection of over 30,000 confirmed threats that slip through the cracks of our customers' preventative controls. From this in-depth analysis, we'll publish almost 200 pages of research, arming security leaders and their teams with actionable insight into the threats we observed, techniques most commonly leveraged by adversaries, and trends that help explain how and why the security landscape is changing. Red Canary creates the threat detection report to help the community identify, understand, and detect threats. By sharing what we've learned, we're doing our small part to empower security teams everywhere to meet the adversary head-on and protect their organizations from cyber attacks. It's upon this foundation that we'd like to introduce the 2022 Threat Detection Report by answering 3 questions about this year's edition. From its inception, we've been intentional about ensuring that the Threat Detection Report is actionable. What started years ago as an exercise in how to get started with MITRE ATT&CK has evolved into a comprehensive report leaders can share with their teams to help understand the threat landscape with a rare level of specificity, gain visibility into common adversary techniques, implement preventative controls to mitigate relevant threats, develop defense in depth by building durable detection analytics, and testing your technical controls and your team using free and readily accessible Atomic Red Team tests. So what's new in 2022? This is the first year we've incorporated trends into the threat detection report. We're taking a step back from the petabytes of data we ingest and the thousands of investigations we perform to identify trends that help us understand how threats are evolving and how we as defenders must evolve in kind. From the continued scourge of ransomware to high-impact vulnerabilities and supply chain attacks, these trends synthesize everything from raw data and finished intelligence, adding insights from the folks in the front lines of threat detection and response. So what trends stick out? The biggest trend in 2021, not surprisingly, was ransomware. Of the top 10 threats that Red Canary observed, adversaries leveraged 60% of them to deliver ransomware. Counterintuitively, Red Canary doesn't detect much ransomware, and the reason for that is probably the single most important takeaway from this report. Ransomware is almost always a later stage payload delivered as the result of malicious software and early stage or precursor activity. If you detect attacks early, before the threat fully materializes and delivers these payloads, you break the chain and you get to look back on a minor incident and not a breach. How do you detect those threats? By focusing on detection of specific techniques or behaviors that adversaries are most likely to leverage. We thank you for being a part of this community, and we hope you enjoy reading the Threat Detection Report and sharing this with your teams. This is our most expansive report to date, but our intention remains the same. The Threat Detection Report exists to help you understand and detect threats, and to guide your organization to a more prepared and secure future.